Yes, sir. Good day, good midday, good high noon, and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Fan from the Potawatomi Sportsbook studio, sponsored by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That is, I'm all in a kerfuffle. My name's Mitch Nelles. What 4:08 to get enough of night sleeping, enough of whatever other opening night of NHL or Packers injury reports. 08 game 3. Let's go. He's here, the kicker, Mason Crosby.
Yeah, man, I can tell. You're just all you're thinking about is that 408 high noon. You don't even know what time of day it is. It's just like you're living in a different time and place right now.
I am. I really am.
Yeah, but
how you doing, boss?
Good to be on. Yeah, it's nice.
So hump day. Wait. Mike. Hump day. Mason Crosby's here on a hump day.
Just human Wednesday. Yeah, it's fall break, so kids are in the house running around.
Yeah, we had a cameo yesterday. No.
Yeah. Little Elizabeth got home from her Disney World trip with my parents. So I don't know if I told you, like my parents take every grandkid for their 10th birthday. They take them to
get a Disney trip, right?
Every park, 4-day deal, and so they went and they crushed it. She was tired. She's recovered now, though. She's bossing everybody around, just leading the kid army that we have over here. But I see we got Charlie in the house. Taking over for Tommy.
I can't hear him.
He's not. I'm sure he's not as excited about
there we go.
Were you excited about
it was down.
Okay,
nobody's been in here all day. It's weird.
Right.
It's weird. I'm the first person
because they all do the shows in here. Tommy is on today. Tommy will start with the leadoff show at 3:00 at Natty Oaks in West Dallas. So make sure you get to Natty Oaks for Sparky and Tommy and to watch the game. But we got the gentle giant Charlie Usen in the house. What's up, Charles?
It's nice to be here. It's fun being here. I don't, usually get to be here this early, or I'm hanging out in the other room. It's nice to talk with Mason. I never get to talk with Mason.
I know.
So Mason, Charlie, Mason.
I'm a little nervous about it. It's weird.
Well, I mean, it's okay, Charlie. We'll be all right. We'll get this thing going. But yeah, it's good to have you. I'm sure you're not. Are you as excited about 408 as all the Brewers fans are, and as Mitch is?
Charlie's into it.
I'm into it. I grew up in Wisconsin. I grew up in Brookfield, so just a little bit away from here. I went to Brewers games growing up. I also still love the Cubs, so it's a little bittersweet. I was very excited when Seiya Suzuki started that last game with that 3-run homer.
Yeah, you were.
And then I was shut up a little bit by Andrew Vaughn, and then I watched the rest of the game as a Brewers fan, so it just works out that way.
Okay,
Mason,
Yeah. So you can. Yeah, I like that. You can just say I have the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
No bad feelings either way. That's awesome. But
I love that.
This game is coming up. We got a lot of talk about Quinn Priester.
Yes.
What's he gonna do tonight? Can he keep his role going? What do you, Mitch? What do you want to see from this game?
Well, before I even get there, I feel like the question I need to ask you, Mason, is: do you expect both teams to score in the first inning? Right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
Do you almost hope it's not a home field thing, right?
Right.
Where
do you almost
let's hope the Cubs don't spot the
That's
Brewers
what I was going to say.
thing.
Do you almost not want the Brewers to score in the first, just to kind of break that trend of the road team scoring in the first and then losing the game?
Yeah, I'm fine with the Brewers not scoring.
Okay.
And then spotting the Cubs in Wrigley.
Ooh.
Giving them a couple runs and the bottom of the first. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're leading after one. This is a new feeling. And then the top of the second, just go yard. Just take them for 5 runs and get this thing over.
I love it. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Charlie Usen is here in for Tommy Wirtz today. Tommy will be in a little bit with the leadoff show. The Mason Crosby Show, of course, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Man, we saw. Oh, everybody wave. Yep,
we got some cameos.
I love
on.
it. The Crosby crew in the house.
Kids are wandering around. This is just they're feral right now.
It's like a field trip. They're on a field trip.
Molly went to get a little, she had an eye appointment. So, kids are running around just doing their thing.
Yeah, as they should be. So, Mason, I know that when Freddie pitched in game 1, and of course he gives up that homer to Bush, but then he got all his emotions under control and things like that. And, from what we see on the mound, Quinn Priester isn't the emotional whirling dervish that Freddie Peralta is. We know that Freddie has emotions, but we also know Quinn hasn't pitched in, I haven't looked it up, but he hasn't pitched in a while. Yeah. And so I have to feel like there's some emotions, there's some extra adrenaline. And I just think it's really important for Quinn today to just go out there and be Quinn Priester. You don't have to be Blake Snell. I'm sorry, you don't have to be what's the guy in Pittsburgh?
Paul Skeens.
You don't have to be Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Scooble. You don't have to be any of these guys. Just go out and be Quinn Priester, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think that's not always easy to do, though, when you've had this type of layoff.
Yeah, and I mean, Quinn is just relatively new to kind of watching him as a pitcher here through this season. But it's like he seems to just be a pretty even guy, right? Like
he seems that way, yeah.
He's not like he's not going to be the Mizorowski, tagging someone out at first and getting fired up. Like no. He doesn't need that juice, which is awesome. He's 25 years old, and he's just like this steady ace that's just going to go out there, plod along, do his thing, and get the job done. So. Yeah, I think he's gonna be fired up to get on the mound. We'll probably see a couple things, in that first inning where he's kind of working through it, getting the feel back, but he'll settle in. I have no doubt he's just gonna have one of those great evenings and go out there and just ball out for 5-6 innings and get the job done.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. If you have your thoughts on will both teams score in the first inning? What do you expect from Quinn Priester tonight specifically? And he was asked yesterday, Mason, about that, that you're on a set schedule all season long, and then there's a longer layoff. What's that been like? And he said, yeah, I think it's just sticking to the process and the goals that we had kind of set all season is having the little things, throwing programs, being really deliberate, all the different things that we do. Like over the All-Star break when we have 7 days, for me, it's more just about staying in compete mode because when I get a lot of time, I kind of want to tinker with stuff. I can feel certain things. But the whole thing is it's October. We're not going to pull a magic pitch out of thin air here. We just need to be really good and consistent with what we've been doing all year. And that's what you want to hear from him, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like, it's just like, okay, well, he's going to get the job done. Like, that mindset alone is like it gets you to a spot.
Yeah.
And then the rest you just have to kind of fill in, right? Like he's already ahead of the game with that mindset and how he approaches it. And then I think it was great in the game on Monday where he went into the bullpen. He was playing catch, throwing some ball. Like I think that feel like was probably part of his process as well, right? He thought he might play in that game. He might be that starter for game 2. He gets out there.
We thought that.
We thought he knew.
He knew.
But it's also like
he was asked that too. I'll read that.
Oh, he knew. Yeah. But going out there and just feeling the crowd, just kind of getting ready for a game day. I think those are really good processes. We talked about that with the Packers and Christian Watson. Like he's just got to get back into that process because that's like as athletes, like you've done this your whole life, and some of it is just feeling what it's like to get up for a game.
Yeah, and
like you don't even like have to play the game; it's just the process of doing it.
Speaking of Christian Watson, Andy Herman's going to be joining the show at 1:00 today from Pack-A-Day Podcast. Can't wait to catch up with him. It's fun talking to him. And Scott Grodsky from CBS 58 on his way to Wrigley right now. He's going to jump in next with us. But Quinn was asked about, what was it like going out to the bullpen? Was there a little subterfuge there? And he said, yeah, it was fun. Maybe it was just a little bit of gamesmanship. I feel like in the playoffs, you're looking for every single little edge that you can get. Did it do anything? I don't know. But we at least tried. We're willing to do things that maybe not everybody would be just to try and give ourselves one little edge. That's kind of how I saw it. It felt like if that was how I could help the team, I'm more than willing to do that.
Yeah.
Because he did change his throwing schedule just a little bit. Like he threw publicly as opposed to privately, probably a different time of the day. But you do always throw 2 days before you pitch just to get your arm, all the, kind of like kickers,
but just show it off a little bit.
Like when did you kick on a, was there a certain day that you knew like I'm going to kick on this day to get loose for Sunday?
It changed over time, but usually my main day was Thursday.
Okay.
I was like a Wednesday, Friday schedule was my best. So I'd go every other day.
Yeah.
So I'd take Monday, Tuesday off, go Wednesday, Friday. There was a time when Coach McCarthy decided like we went through this whole program where we had our Saturday was like a ramp up day. So I actually would kick Thursday, Saturday.
You did not like that, I'm guessing.
Which was the worst thing in the history of the world. It's literally like a starting pitcher pitching in a game, like our pitching, in a game or like a hard practice the day before he's going out to pitch.
What are we doing here?
Like it was like because I can't go half speed.
Right.
Like they're having me kick like 50, plus yarders in practice, and I'm kicking off and stuff. I'm like, I can't do that halfway. Like I have to get fully warmed up. Like I tried to tell them multiple times, but kickers, we try to be people, but they just don't, always treat us that way.
No, it's fair. Remember, you can't count on much these days. You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game all season long, kicking off with the juicy Week 6 matchup between the Bengals and the Packers. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today, as we will be talking Packers football and some other news and notes around the NFL. Yeah. We're going to talk about Jonathan Gannon a little bit. We're also going to talk about Giannis. And I don't know, I don't know how deep we want to dig into, is it important where Giannis's family lives, and how protective is he being about his kids, and I think as a parent, we want to be protective. We don't want our kids in the middle of social media. We don't want media or the public tracking our kids. That's kind of
good
weird.
Insight on that. So whenever we get to that, Molly and I were dealing with that towards the end of my career. Mm-hmm. Obviously not at the level of Giannis, but stuff that honestly you don't necessarily worry about that piece of it as much. It's you just, as a parent, you start worrying about your kids and what their life is going to feel like. As maybe, obviously Giannis, his career is not dwindling down, but it's you got to kind of start considering all things. But I do want to ask you something too about this Brewers Cubs matchup.
Thank you for coming back to that. Yeah.
What is is Shaw hard to pitch to? Hasn't he been? He's been walked 4 times already in this series, hasn't he? Is that on purpose?
I'll throw it to the gentle giant on this.
Yeah, what's going on there? I've been curious about that.
Does he crouch down in a weird way?
I wouldn't say it's on purpose. He's a smaller guy, so that's definitely something that comes into that. But I think it's this kind of approach that he's learned from working with a guy like Nico Horner, who throughout his career has had that same kind of approach where he's going to be more cautious of the bat. He's not going to take a lot of hard swings. He's going to be looking for more of that contact approach. Yeah. And there seems to be a lot of guys on the Cubs that either take that approach or take the Seiya Suzuki approach, where you're just swinging for the fences at any given moment. Pitch. Exactly. So I think that's kind of the big difference. It's just these two different styles of approaches that the Cubs have, which I also think is to the detriment of them right now, because you have guys taking walks and then a bunch of guys striking out after them, and one guy hits a solo home run and nobody taking a walk before him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like the bottom part of your lineup taking walks, and then everybody else getting outs. Not a good recipe for success. Right.
So. It works.
Is he scared of the ball? Why is he scared of the ball?
I love it. It works when your lineup's hitting the way it's supposed to be hitting. I mean, how often this year have we talked about Collins, Durbin, Ortiz, Perkins getting on base, and then Churio, Yelich, Turang, the top of the lineup, getting big hits? How many times has Ortiz led the league in at-bats with the bases loaded because the bottom of the order was getting on base? It works when it works. And to Shaw's point, you're the number 9 hitter, just get on base. However you can, you should be. But then when he's getting let down by the top of the order, that's the struggle the Cubs are having right now.
Yeah, you'd almost say put him at 1 so that he can get on base, early and often. Because that first that leadoff batter walk isn't the stat on that crazy, right?
They score as often as a leadoff triple.
Yeah,
it's the same.
Right?
The numbers are a percentage off. Leadoff triple versus leadoff walk scores the same amount of time.
Is that just bad management then?
Whoa,
Wait, did I go there? I didn't.
Are you talking about Whitefish Bay's own?
I didn't do that, did I? I didn't do that. Did I?
No. I mean, listen, you want your number 9 guy to get on base. That's part of. And
that should be a good recipe, right?
And you expect. I mean, Justin Turner leading off was an awful decision. He's been horrible all year, and I love Justin Turner. He's the one guy when the Dodgers were really good. I actually liked him because he was he played the game the right way. He got dirty when all the Dodgers were keeping their
Red Sox Turner?
I liked him until he was terrible. Okay. But he got terrible with the Red Sox, and he's been terrible with the Cubs now. He's done. He should be a coach. He shouldn't be playing anymore. But for him to bat leadoff was managerial malpractice. Figure out like whether you put Nico first or whatever you end up doing. By the way, Nico Horner, you can say whatever you want about the rest of the Cubs. Nico Horner is their Bryce Terang. And it's like, it's kind of frustrating from a Brewers perspective that he also plays second base. So there's this like real rivalry. There's actually an argument about who's the better second baseman.
Yeah, they're both really good.
Every other team in Major League Baseball, I'm taking Bryce Terang. Like I can't think of one other second baseman. And there are other good second basemen, but I'm not taking anybody over Bryce Terang. Nico Horner's like the only guy in that conversation. He doesn't strike out. He puts the bat on the ball. I know he made the error in game one, but for the most part, he's a great fielder. Like him and Bryce are going to be battling for Gold Gloves for the next 10 years. Like it is fun to watch him, except I hate that he's on the Cubs. Charlie, is that fair?
I just feel like that with Bryce Terang, what you've seen from him throughout his time is constantly taking a next step throughout his career. I think Nico Horner came up to the Cubs with really high expectations at that second base position after filling in for guys that should have worked out at that second base position. And Addison Russell, some of these other players, the Starlin Castros who flamed out a little bit, he was supposed to be the guy to kind of take that and run with it. Yep. And he did for a little bit at the beginning of his career, and then now he's kind of plateaued, kind of stagnated. And yes, he's a really good contact hitter. Right. Yes, he's a very good defender, but he hasn't really been more than that for this team. Whereas a Bryce Terang, when the team needed him to be a power hitter, he stepped up and was a power hitter. Yeah, that's when true. The team needed him to.
So Terang's ceiling,
his trajectory is just so much higher right now at this point.
But they're both really good. I'll say that. Yeah. So Mason, as we look at this game today, it is the Cubs are a very, very slight favorite. Jameson Taillon, who's their pitcher, has been a good pitcher throughout his career. He was one of those. I mean, there's a huge list of guys in Major League Baseball who came up with the Pirates, and pitched really well at the Pirates and aren't on the Pirates anymore. Like we're all waiting for Paul Skeens to be that next guy.
Going next?
But Taillon was one of those guys. He was with the Pirates, pitched really well, and who did he get traded to? The Yankees. He's on the Yankees for a couple of years, then he's a free agent, and the Cubs scoop him up. But he's a good pitcher. Like he is capable of throwing goose eggs up there. How important do you think it is that the Brewers do get to him? Maybe not in the first inning, but at least early.
Yeah, obviously you hope that they jump out to a lead. I think this Brewers team with the lead is really tough to come back against, right? So if they can jump out to a lead and make the Cubs really have to press to try to earn some runs there throughout the course of the game, that's right where the Brewers want to be. But I think it might be tough early on, but if they can squeeze out some hits, get some guys on base, find some runs in the first 3 innings, then everything lines up for this Brewers team to go out there and get a win tonight. That's kind of like how I view this game going. It'll be a little bit tighter, I think. At moments, just because it's in Wrigley. So that's going to play to the Cubs' favor, but I do think that the Brewers just have this knack of just nibbling at the edges. They find ways to get on base, and then they're just going to make it hard on you all game long. And like they have no quit in them. They do all the little things right. And it starts at the top with Murph. I mean, he just leads this group of men in such a great way that it opens them up to go and play their best, like just however they love to play ball. And they all do it a little bit different, but they collectively play Brewers baseball, and it's exciting to see. So yeah, don't be surprised if there's just a little tension there in the first 2-3 innings, and then the Brewers kind of open it up after that. Yeah,
I'm interested to see. It wouldn't shock me if there's goose eggs on both sides, into the 4th, 5th, even 6th inning in this one.
What's the over under on this?
Let's see. I have it up right here. It's a very slight favorite. It's 6.5.
Yeah.
So you know what Tommy says.
Yeah.
Anytime it's under 7.5, take it. Hit the over.
Yeah.
Listen, when games are 6.5, more often than not, they are going to go over. I think this is a testament to Taillon has been really good since he came off the DL, like a sub-2 ERA in the last 7-8 starts. And Quinn Priester's just really good. And the Cubs, besides hitting, how did that happen? Besides hitting besides the hits they've had, they've done nothing.
Yeah.
They had 3 solo home runs and did nothing else in game 1. And had a 3-run homer and did nothing else in game 2. Like their offense is a bit of a mess right now. And I think Quinn Priester stays within himself, could throw up goose eggs. So I'm excited. Let's get to Scott Krotsky from CBS 58. What do you say?
Yep, let's do it.
He's on his way to Wrigley, but obviously he's also got the Bucks on his mind. He's got the Packers on his mind, Badger football on his mind. I mean, we can go everywhere with Scott because he is a very well-rounded young gentleman.
Very nice.
He's Mason Crosby. Charlie's in for Tommy today. Tommy will be in at Natty Oaks on National and Greenfield in West Dallas. You got to get to Natty Oaks. It's absolutely fantastic. They're going to have food. I know their big bowl of chili is like Josh Albrecht's favorite thing on earth. So get their, their big old bowl of chili. Go get that as well. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. Remember, we're taking the show on the road today. Sparky and Tommy, Wisconsin Sports Daily, and the leadoff show will be at Natty Oaks. You want to get out there. It's going to be an absolute blast for pregame, before the game, and watching the Milwaukee-Chicago baseball game on National Ave in West Dallas. Natty Oaks is absolutely delicious. Mace, next time you get here, we will definitely hit up Natty Oaks.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
a bowl of chili. I'm in.
It is a good one. It is. I've had it, and I will vouch. Are
you a noodles or no noodles guy?
Ooh, I generally am no noodles, but if there's noodles in my chili, I'll eat it. Like, I like noodles.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't get offended. I'm not. You know me and food, Mace. I mean, come on. I like.
Yeah. I'm not worried about
you. You put food in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. It's like, whatever you're. Now, you might not want to call it chili. It might be like chili. If you give me chili and noodles, I will call that chili over noodles. I don't think that's chili. I think that's chili over noodles. When I think of chili, I don't think of noodles.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I was surprised when I first got to Wisconsin that was the thing. They're like, "You want noodles?" I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, like I'll take. To me, that's just bonus. Sure, I'll take noodles. I like noodles, but that's not. If I'm just having chili, I just want my chili, and I love a ton of cheese on top.
Oh, chili. Yeah, chili kind of sounds good right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like a little. I like Frito pie.
Do you?
Frito,
Okay.
Yeah, like walking tacos.
Yeah, yeah. Is it what do you got down there in Nashville? Because today it's like 60 for a high. It's like we do have a little bit of that fall air coming in.
Yeah, it's in the 70s. It's cloudy. It's we're getting a little cooler here.
Okay, nice. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. From CBS 58, sports reporter extraordinaire, Scott Grodsky. Scott, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? I'm just driving up to Wrigley.
Nice. Well, I got to see you at game 2, and that one went well. We are wondering, Scott, will both teams score in the first inning today?
Will both teams score in the first inning?
I mean, that's been it's been a trend. We've seen.
Are you giving me odds? I would say no.
That's fair.
I'm assuming odds are the reason this question is being asked.
Well, we don't even know. Actually, I don't even know the odds. I just know that we've seen it in both the first 2 games. And so I actually said I almost don't want the Brewers to score in the first inning because, like, the Cubs did it twice and it didn't work out for them. The over/under actually is very low in this game. We are expecting a little bit of a pitcher's duel today.
Yeah, and I think the wind is not great for hitting at Wrigley. And the wind, honestly, the wind at Wrigley is so important. It means more than half the pitcher sometimes. But Tyone's been pitching pretty well for the Cubs lately. Pitched well against the Brewers a few months ago as well. So, I don't think it'll be a ton of scoring. And I certainly would take the under for 0.5 on each team in the first inning.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, so how's the drive going?
Talk like that now.
Yeah, exactly. How's the drive going down there? Traffic. Any traffic building up? I mean, as soon as you hit Chicago, I'm sure it'll be pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's not too bad yet. We just crossed. We're in Gurnee area. We just crossed with sports director Lance Allen, who as soon as I said that, he said I hate Mason, and
makes sense.
A bunch of these words I can't repeat on TV or radio. It's just Lance. That's who he is. No, I think his words were love that guy.
Yeah, one of the biggest jerks I've ever met, for sure.
Well, and he's got those huge, 25-inch pythons. He's got those, those pro wrestler arms. So he
was a wrestler back in the day.
Yes,
so
he was. Yeah. Yes, he was. So as we look at game 3, and I know that Quinn Priester talked yesterday, but we all got that surprise, I think, in game 2 when Ashby started and Priester didn't follow him up. Priester now more than well rested. Were you surprised that he was not the game 2 starter or the game 2 pitcher after the opener? And what do you think it means, like, with this long of a rest? What do you expect to see from him today?
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly very surprised that was the route they went. I figured it would be him, and if it wasn't him, I figured it'd be Quintana at least. I was definitely not expecting a bullpen day that was driven in large part by Jacob Mizorowski. But I think at this point you can expect Priester to be a normal start, but a normal playoff start, which means if he gets through the first 3 innings and he's still pitching really well and it's a shutout or they got 1 on the board, then great. He'll go 5 or 6. If he gets through the first 3 innings and there's a little trouble, they're going to pull him right away. I mean, other than Peralta, I don't know that anyone on this Brewers team is going to have a very long leash in the playoffs, and I don't know that they should. I mean, you're seeing across all of Major League Baseball in the playoffs, once someone gets into a little trouble, they usually get pulled. They usually don't want anyone facing a second and God forbid a third time around the order with anyone. So my guess is that he's somewhere in that 3 to 5 inning range.
Nice. Yeah. So what's what's your thought for this game tonight? Do you think that the Brewers kind of stay the course and find a way to pull this thing off and sweep this series? Or do you think this one's going to be a little more tense and a little tighter than these first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be tense no matter what. I think this is a very relaxed Brewers team that, I don't want to say they don't understand the moment they're in, because they do, but they don't come across as a team that's like, oh, God, we have all this pressure on us to do anything. I think they're very loose. I don't see any reason for that to change. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cubs win this game. It happens a decent amount when a team is down 2-0 and going home. We just saw it with the Yankees in a game when they were getting killed 6-1. They still came back and won. But I think that the Brewers team is relaxed enough and frankly talented enough to where if the Cubs do win today, it's not the end of the world. They got tomorrow, and if they lose again tomorrow, then you start to have a little bit more pressure on you for Saturday, even though I think they would win Saturday anyway. But I think the bullpen is set up well. The pitching staff is set up well to where Quintana should be good for 4. If they do have to get to 5, Peralta is ready to go. And if they don't get to 5, then Peralta is ready to go for game 1 of the NLCS. So I think everything is set up extremely well for the Brewers.
I love it. Where do we want to go, Mitch? Do we want to talk a little Bucks? Do we want to stay on the Brewers for a little bit longer?
No, we can switch it up a little bit, Mace. You go for it.
My mind went to basketball real quick. So, there's been a lot of talk with Giannis, his family, like Shams is a sham.
Shams is a sham.
Like sham.
Shams is a sham is what it is.
Talking about Giannis, and trade talks and like that. There was conversations with the Knicks. Like, what do you take from all of that? And kind of the start of preseason for this Bucks team. Like, where's your head at with where the Bucks are going right now?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think right now the focus needs to be on where the team is now and where the team is going. I think the Giannis stuff, maybe there is some truth to the 10,000 reports that came out over the offseason. Maybe there isn't. Whatever it is, it's done for now. I'm not sure why anything is coming out, yesterday and 2 days ago. They're not moving him a day before the season starts. So I think right now you have the team that you have and you go forward from there. And I saw like Lauri Markkanen, they're looking to trade him in Utah. I don't know. Maybe they add someone, maybe they don't. But for now, you got to assume the team you have is the one that you're going to have for day one. And then you go from there. Obviously, John Horst has made some form of move pretty much every trade deadline since he's been here. So I think the team is set up fairly well. I think when you looked at it over the offseason and there was that huge culture shock of losing Dame and no longer having Middleton there, obviously, so there's not really a 1B to go with the 1A of Giannis. At first, that was a little bit more of a frightening proposition, I think, looking at it. But after media day and after hearing from the team and looking at the team as it's constructed, they're not wrong that the NBA strategy for the last 15 years or so has been get 2 or 3 superstars and see what happens. And now the strategy seems to be have one superstar and put a bunch of young, hungry role players who are very elite at their jobs around them. And that's what the Bucks have done. So I think the Bucks are in a position to be a lot better than they're supposed to be nationally. I think that obviously they're going to be helped out by the fact that the Eastern Conference is decimated right now.
Yep. Pacers and Celtics specifically, but
the Pacers and Celtics are both decimated, and that's the Celtics are the best team on paper, or were the best team on paper in the conference. And do I think the Pacers really were as good as they were last year in the playoffs? No, but it doesn't matter what I think. They're a shell of what they were.
Right. They got to the finals. Like they were, whether we thought they were that good last year or not, they did it on the court.
Yeah. But they did it on the court with, their best player is probably out for the year. Their third best player is on the Bucks.
Yeah, let's go.
So it's not, they're not really a team that's super concerning to me. The Magic are going to be better, but do I really think they're making a run?
No.
Everything we ever hear about with Giannis is that all he cares about is that he has a chance to compete. And is it beneficial that they're in the Eastern Conference? Sure, but you don't get punished for that either.
That's right.
They're in a good spot.
Yeah. Scott Grodzki, CBS 58, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Did you want to keep on the Bucks, or I was going to flip it over to the Packers, Mace?
Yeah, wherever. I have one more question about the Bucks. Just like as you talked about, kind of the new approach to the NBA and what kind of how this Bucks team is built, right? I mean, you brought in a good free agent in Turner. Obviously, you have Giannis, but it is built with a lot of guys that are going to know their role and play it at a high level. Do you see this team being more of that run and gun, try to be like a faster pace type of offensive team? Just get as many scoring ops as possible. Is that kind of where you see this Bucks team, how it's formed heading into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly how they want it to. I think that, and sometimes best laid plans, so it's not necessarily a guarantee, but they have brought in the guys to run and gun. They have brought in the guys to be able to move a lot faster. And that starts with Giannis at the point, which it sounds like they're going to do a decent amount because, Giannis in transition, when he gets a full head of steam, you can't stop him. There's no option to stop him other than to foul him, which obviously teams do. But I think they have a solid rotation of guards that, I don't expect Kevin Porter Jr. to be in the All-Star game this year, but he's a solid player. Ryan Rollins is a solid player. I think Cole Anthony is better than he was being utilized in Orlando. And I think when you take all those guys and have them not needing to exert themselves for 35 minutes a game because they're fairly interchangeable, and you can get them, doing like hockey where you're doing 20 minutes of full force shift instead of 35 minutes of saving something for the end. I think they're in good position. I think the biggest question for me, or the biggest thing I'm going to be looking at for the first month of the year when they're figuring out rotations and what the team looks like, is I want to see what they do with Kuzma. I think given how last year ended with him, that has to be the biggest question, is what he's going to be. And will he start? Will he have a long leash if he does keep working mid-range game? I know
traded. I got something weird in my throat.
That might be easier said than done.
That's true. It's a good point.
His value right now in a trade is not what it was when they had to give up Middleton and a pick for him.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Nicely said.
And I'm not willing to give up on him yet either. He's a young player and he has had some good seasons. But I think if you're through 3 weeks of the season, then he's still shooting mid-range jumpers and not playing much defense, then that's a problem.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, Scott. Scott Grodzki, CBS 58, joining us. What do the Packers need to do to not get Flacco'd again this season?
Score more than 10 points. They didn't really.
That's
they didn't get Flacco.
I know they didn't get Flacco, but they lost a football game in which Joe Flacco played. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest solution to that is that I think if Joe Flacco is playing quarterback against your team, the defense alone should score more than 10 points for you. So they should be okay there. But I don't know how you could be scared of this Bengals team, other than put 6 guys on Jamar Chase. But I don't think they're going to be Flacco'd. I think they're going to be fine.
I mean, Bengals defense is ranked 30th in total defense, in the league. So you saw what they did against the Cowboys defense. That's, I guess, after the Jets game, they're ranked a little, maybe a little bit better on paper. But I expect a 30, another 30+ point game coming from the Green Bay Packers. And Bengals adding Flacco, and there's always that concern when you bring in that new, a new piece, right? Browning, whenever he was the first week starter for the Bengals, or when he came into that game when Burrow got hurt,
the Jacksonville game.
There's always a spark there, right? So can Flacco bring just a little bit of spark? But you get in a shootout like with this team, with the Packers at home in this Bengals game, like Packers they're just gonna roll them, right? Like a shootout. I just don't see a shootout happening. With the Packers defense is going to rebound and be a lot better than they were against the Cowboys. Do you agree with that?
For sure. And I think Flacco with the Bengals is going to be a better quarterback and a harder matchup for the Packers than Flacco with the Browns.
Yeah.
I think that,
they have more weapons.
Jamar Chase.
The weapons aren't even remotely comparable. Even if you took out Jamar Chase and just we're talking T. Higgins, the weapons are better there than they were in Cleveland. So there's a little more concern of that. And Flacco, for all of his flaws at 40 years old, he can still throw a ball downfield. So sure, they could give up a little bit, but the defense is horrible. So even if Flacco does get to 17, 20 points against the Packers, which I'm not expecting, they shouldn't give up that much. But even if they do, if you're coming off a bye week against this Cincinnati defense and scoring fewer than 20 points, that's a different problem regardless of what's going on the other side of the ball.
No doubt.
Yeah, and it looks like Zach Tom is practicing, and Aaron Banks should be back in the fold. So you get that offensive line healthy, you run the ball effectively. Josh Jacobs, I still think it goes through him and Tucker Kraft, this offense. Like, just let those guys do their stuff and then just open it up. And Jordan Love's not afraid to spread the ball around. He's going to throw it to whoever, whenever, all over the field. So where are, if any, concerns in this Bengals game? Where would you put your concerns if you look at this game in a nutshell?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't really know that I have any concerns. I guess the health of the offensive line is the number one thing. But as far as the game goes, even if Banks doesn't play, even if there isn't, they should not be losing this game. I think the level of concern going into this game is very low. If they somehow lose this game to the Bengals, then the level of concern skyrockets up to about a 10. Because the last two games obviously weren't pretty. I have to keep reminding myself it wasn't 2 straight losses. It's a loss and a tie. It just feels like it was a loss.
Feels like 2 losses. In the standings, Scott, the Packers are tied for the least amount of losses in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the dream. The Bengals do not concern me at all for that game, and I cannot. I don't know that I can quantify. I think a 10 is too low for what the level of concern will be if they lose that game.
All right. Hey, Scott, we'll just go back to the Brewers before we let you go. What's your prediction for tonight's game?
I don't love saying it. I think the Cubs win tonight. I think the Brewers get it done in 4. I don't think we're coming back here for a game 5 on Saturday, but I think it's hard to close a team out in a sweep, and it's harder to close a team out in a sweep on the road.
Okay,
we saw the Blue Jays. We saw that happen to the Blue Jays last night.
Yeah.
So
you're a realistic human being, but
boom.
I'm calling for sweep. I want to see the sweep. I just want those Chicago fans to just be hurting.
I want a whole
nother offseason of just disappointment.
If they sweep, so I'm good with that.
All right, perfect.
So, so if you want to meet Scott up for a beverage tonight, if the Brewers get it done, let's go. You'll get back to Milwaukee by midnight, right?
For sure. I'll bring Lance out for you guys.
Perfect. And his 24-inch pythons.
That's right.
All right, Scott, thank you so much for jumping on, and we will definitely catch up with you soon.
All right, see you guys later.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Scott Grotsky, CBS 58 sports reporter, and just fun. He's always got his. I feel like he's always got his realistic hand on the pulse. I don't like hearing that there's no worry about the Packers just because the way there shouldn't be. Like I agree, there shouldn't be.
They're better in every matchup in this game for sure. All
right.
Yeah, I think even the Bengals with Joe Burrow, I would have felt relatively the same. Just their defense is so bad.
I know. With Joe Burrow, I would have felt more concerned, but I just listen, I just hope it all goes the way it should go. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. Thanks again to Scott Grotsky for jumping on the Gruber Law fan guest hotline. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Did you just ooh this one?
Yeah, I like
Little
that.
Journey, huh? Man, 80s Journey. That's in my soul. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. No Tommy today. Tommy is at Natty Oaks. Leadoff show will be at 3. Sparky starts at 2 there. Big bowl of chili. Great menu there. Natty Oaks, it's like not even it's super close to here. So super excited to get out there. It's on National I think it's on like National and Greenfield, like kind of where they hit in West Dallas.
Go for the party.
Yeah, exactly. The Chicago Cubs starting lineup is out, which is always funny to me, Mace, because you know that Murph never releases his starting lineup until like the last second before he has to. He's always tinkering. He's always going by his gut. But the Cubs are going with the exact same lineup as they had in game 1. The same lineup they had in game 2, except when they put Turner in for Bush. Bush is back in as the righty is back in for the Brewers, Quinn Priester. Yep. So it'll be Bush, Horner, Tucker, Suzuki, Happ, Kelly, Crow, Armstrong, Swanson, and Shaw. Your on-base machine batting 9th there for the Chicago Cubs. Listen, I mean, it got them to 90-something wins this year. It's a lineup of guys who are good hitters. I think Kyle Tucker is on his way out. I wonder this, Mason, as we only have about 3.5 minutes here. So I'm going to ask this question. So Kyle Tucker is a perennial all-star, just like an absolute stud. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and the Cubs get him from the Astros, and they don't sign him to an extension. I don't know if the Cubs didn't want to. I don't know if he didn't want to. I don't know if they both didn't want to. But, like, you're down 2-0 in the playoffs. You got hurt toward the end of the year. Are you all in? Like, is there something in the back of your mind, like, I'm protecting my health a little bit to make sure I get my deal in the offseason? We're down 2-0. The other team's better than us. I never really bought into this team anyway. Like, I'm not one of the guys. I didn't come up through the Cubs system. Like, what is the mentality there?
I mean, the guy's obviously a baller. Like, he's
definitely a baller,
all-star.
right.
So, like, I feel competitive juices, like they don't stop. So he's going to show up. Like, you're down 2-0, but you're going home, and you're going to say, it doesn't matter where you're playing. If you're a professional, like, you want to show put your best foot forward, show your stuff, because the next team is watching. Like, obviously, It's like you want to leave a mark, even if you lose this game. Yeah. It's like, I want to leave a mark. The last thing that anyone saw from me was positive.
He's been awful.
I'm going into free agency.
Mason, in 5 games in the playoffs, he's 3 for 17 with 3 singles, no extra base hits, 2 runs scored. He's only struck out 3 times, so he doesn't strike out a lot. But his on base is slugging absolutely horrid through 5 games as your number 3 hitter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that shows, well, that's good for the Brewers. Yeah. That's all I can think. It's like, okay, that's good for the Brewers. I was looking against, it's cool they have the, against Priester, who's done well. Horner, obviously, really good. Happ's actually been really solid against Priester.
That makes sense. Happ's better as a lefty.
So is Shaw, which again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that means. He's probably going to just walk twice in this game, but so I think, you got to just look at it with a grain of salt. Like, they're going to go out there compete. This Cubs team has pride. Their lineup is, they had a great season. Yes. Like, in their minds, they have to approach it as, we can go out there, we can try to steal this one. If we can win both our games at home, then we put that pressure on them. That's like what they have to be believing there in Chicago. If they're not believing that, then this is going to be a steamroll and the Brewers are just going to run away with it. But I can't imagine that a team in this situation would not go out there and have an expectation that we can take a game here and just at least make this interesting and see if we can't steal this series somehow.
Absolutely. Want to make sure that everybody remembers that as the crew tries to get the brooms out for the sweep this afternoon in Chicago, you can watch the game with us at Natty Oaks Pub and Eatery on National Ave in West Dallas. Wisconsin Sports Daily will be there at 2. Leadoff show with Tommy Wirtz starting at 3 on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan. It's going to be an absolute blast. And speaking of an absolute blast, Mason, Andy Herman will join the show next.
I know.
And it's always, we're always on Andy Herman time. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, so I can't wait to catch up with Andy and see what he's got breaking down for this week's game.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Big Charlie Usen, the gentle giant, is here. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Andy Herman is next.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I am Mitch Thunder Nelles, and joining us now is the one, the only, the owner, the CEO, the general manager, the executive director of Pack-A-Day Podcast, the one, the only, Andy Herman. Andy, good day to you.
Fellas, how the heck are you guys doing?
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Andy.
Mason, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah. Missed Andy's bright colored hats and just, it's good to be on here on a Wednesday. Oh, yes. And my Liverpool buddy, my soccer mate, finally back in action. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But, I got to pick your brain because, I miss your scouting reports and just your breakdown of what's going on there in Green Bay. So tell us, we talked a lot about Christian Watson coming back. And getting into practice. What do you expect from him? Let's just go there. What do you expect from Christian Watson? What do you think this progression is going to look like here in the next couple of weeks?
Sounds like he was in pads today. That's a great sign for him. Wow. I still expect there to be a bit of a ramp up period here where they kind of do a little bit more and more with him, work off some of the rust. I kind of expect him not to play this week. Obviously, if he does, I would assume it would be in an extremely limited role. And then, next week, maybe ramp up the team activities even more. And then, kind of maybe dust him off a little bit more against Arizona. But again, then you have to kind of worry about too of do you want to play in Arizona? I don't know. It'll be an interesting sort of ramp up period for Christian. But either way, when he gets back, I expect it to be probably 10 to 15 snaps per game in a pretty limited role, send him down the sidelines, use him a little bit over the middle, maybe get him some generated touches and just kind of get his feel back for the game. And I think that's the beautiful thing right now with this wide receiver core is you do get to integrate him slowly. It's not like you're completely barren at the wide receiver position and need him immediately to come in and play 40, 50 snaps. Have him take some of the Malik Heath snaps, have him take some of the Savion Williams snaps if you need to, and then, kind of ramp him up from there and get him going full blast towards the end of the season a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree, Andy. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, if he doesn't go this week, it's almost like next week doesn't make a ton of sense. Traveling to Arizona, that's a tough trip. Is it worth waiting till until that big matchup against the Steelers there at the end of October? So yeah, we'll see how he progresses. And I think getting in pads is a big thing for Christian Watson. Like I've said, it's like running routes, running in the training space, doing the rehab stuff is one thing, and he can make all the cuts, do all the things, but it's the second that you make a cut, you catch a ball, and the guy's hitting you right away, right? It's like, how do you risk? And I'm not as worried about his knee. It's like his hammies, all the other stuff. It's like all the other things and that come with coming back. Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. And like you said, the mental side too, it's one thing, to believe the knee is going to hold up. It's another when you're cutting on the turf for the very first time. And, you have to go through all of that to kind of experience it. So I think he's going to be totally fine. I'm excited to see him back in, but yeah, you want to definitely take this a little bit slower. And you look at somebody like Malik Heath so far has played a total of about 69 snaps through about 4 games. It's about 15, 16, 17 snaps per game, somewhere in there. If all of a sudden that Malik Heath snap count becomes Christian Watson's snap count for the next few weeks, once he's ready to go, even then you add an actual weapon out. Not to say anything disparaging towards Malik Heath, not the point, but you add a little bit more of a playmaker out there with Watson. To me, that's kind of the perfect role to integrate him in to begin with.
I real quick about Watson. So I'm on board with both of you. I think you rest him until Pittsburgh. I think the Packers get the ball to start the game. They call a fair catch. They get the ball at the 25. They throw a 75-yard pass, and Watson catches it this time and runs down the sideline, just staring at Aaron the whole time. What's up? I caught it this time, buddy.
Oh,
let's go.
Would be amazing.
The script has been written. I appreciate that, Thunder. Yeah, Andy. So then obviously there's other, injury things coming off the bye week, guys coming back, getting back into the fold. Offensive line has been a huge topic, the last couple of weeks. So do you think Aaron Banks and Zach Tom are good to go? Do you see them playing in this game? Do they seem like they have had that time to rest and get back into this thing?
Yeah, it seems so. Matt LaFleur talked about Zach Tom today, that he's been looking really good. And I think today, with them being in pads, they're probably going to test him out. The last thing they want is another situation where he goes in there for one play, then all of a sudden it acts back up on him and you're down a player for the entirety of the game because of it. So my guess is he's going to get a pretty big workout this week to really test that thing out, make sure it's good to go. And if he passes that test, he'll play this week, and that'll be such a welcome addition to that offensive line. They don't have many players right now where you can just sort of set it and forget it. And Zach Tom is one of those guys that you just put out at right tackle. You don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of thinking. You don't have to do a whole bunch of chipping or helping him out. He's just going to do his job on that outside, and to kind of let that spot be as is and then kind of focus on the other stuff. I think that would, again, be super welcome for Green Bay. As far as Banks goes, it sounds like he's good to go as well. Continues to practice. And again, I think there's been a lot of consternation towards Aaron Banks. Anytime you get that massive contract, you immediately have high expectations. I don't know if he's ever going to live up quite to that level of a contract, but I think he's a good, solid offensive lineman. I'm not basing too much off of one game where he was clearly not 100% and not himself. I went back and watched every snap of the 49ers tape from last year that he played in. He was a good offensive lineman, and I think he's going to be a value add to this team in the long run. You can start solidifying left guard, obviously solidifying right tackle, just starts feeling like this offensive line can piece itself together and be much better than they have been over the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, Andy, I totally agree. And I think that's like, as fans, have to take it with a grain of salt now. Like, these contracts are what they are. Like, guys are going to get paid. Like, we can't just say like, oh, have they lived up to that expectation? Because it's like, that's just what it's going to be. Like, good or bad. And it's a product of, we enjoy watching it. We bet on it. We watch every game. We do fantasy football. We do all the things. So it's like, those numbers are going to be what they are. Yep. Just look at them, like, not from a money, perspective. Yep. It's like, let's just look at it, collectively and say, what are they doing on the field? I go right to, the next guy is Devontae Wyatt. Like, so what have you heard coming out of Green Bay? Is Devontae Wyatt going to be good to go, or is he out another week here?
Yeah, not practicing again today, which is obviously not what you want to see. Yeah. I would assume he's going to be out for this week. I know the famous last words, and we know what happened the last couple games, but I think they can survive against Cincinnati and Arizona without Devontae Wyatt. They got caught a little bit this past week. I think personally, 4 defensive tackles is a bit too little to go into in a game with. And Devontae Wyatt goes out pretty early in that game, I think second quarter, and now you're left with only 3 defensive tackles. That being said, that's probably what they're going to have to go into this game again, unless they bring somebody up from the practice squad. Warren Brinson probably going to be active for the very first time. I think Brinson can be a good player. I actually think Brinson is better than Stackhouse, but Stackhouse kind of gives them a different flavor and a different body type. Brinson's kind of the same body and type of, sort of 3 technique as a, as somebody like a Devontae Wyatt, a Carl Brooks, a Colby Wooden already. So I think this gives him a little bit of an ability to kind of put him in, see what he can do, and then we'll see if those young guys can hold up. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks as the 2 starters in this game, and then 2 rookies really to kind of be the depth behind them. It's not going to be super easy, but the Bengals are averaging just over 3 yards per carry. They should be able to get home with guys like Micah Parsons, LVN, Rashawn Gary. So I think that's going to be the hope, but definitely a little bit more pressure on some of those younger defensive tackles.
Love it. We got Andy Herman from Pack a Day Podcast joining the Mason Crosby Show. So glad I get to talk to you today on this Wednesday,
Likewise.
Buddy. And I think
and to see each other,
see you. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So LaFleur, I think, talked at 11:20. Is that right? Did you were you at that press conference? What did you take from it? Kind of what are your feels from anything that LaFleur had to say today?
Yeah, I was listening to it. I was not at it today, but I was listening to it live. No major takeaways from this one. Talked about kind of the self-scout being a thing, but it's not as big as important as maybe people make it out to be in the media. So he basically talked about that they're doing self-scout every week. And yes, you get a little bit more time to go back and watch the film, during the bye week, just because you have a little bit more time at your disposal. But said it's not as crazy as you would think. Also talked a little bit about, Sean Clifford's the quarterback. Does that give the Bengals any advantage because he knows Green Bay and Green Bay's offense? And it's basically like, nah, it's more of, again, a media narrative than it is anything. It's like, we had Micah. He knew Dallas really well. He's like, we took a couple of small nuggets away from what Micah was able to tell us. He's like, it really was much more advantageous of us just watching the film than anything Micah could give us. So kind of downplayed either of those sort of storylines. And obviously talked about facing Joe Flacco again, knowing that they've gone against him once already and kind of being able to take away some of the things that they did against him in the first game, being able to carry that over into this game as well. So no major takeaways. The only other one was that Anthony Belton sounds like he's still going to be a little bit as well. He said he was not going to be out there practicing today, and he was not.
I know we'll get to Flacco and the Bengals in a second, Andy, but I wanted to ask you, Andy Herman joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. Josh Jacobs is 11th in the league in yards per game rushing. but of the top 18 guys, he's far and away the lowest average per carry of the top 18. What's it going to take to get? Is it the injuries on the offensive line? Is there anything schematically going on with him that he hasn't been able to really break any long ones as long of the year as 19? Is it as simple as saying when the offensive line is healthy, let's let things settle, or is there anything else going on there?
Yeah, and I've seen some of the advanced analytics too that show that, Josh has not been quite as elusive this year and things like that. When I'm watching the film of Jacob so far, so there was that little wide receiver screen they ran to him out wide. I think it was against Dallas, but it was like a 2nd and 19 or something, and he picks up like 20 yards on the play. And you're like, oh yeah, there's Josh Jacobs. He's fast, he's powerful, he's strong, he's elusive. You give him just a little bit of area to operate, and he's really, really good. The thing last year is, he was elusive because even when there was a guy coming through right away, he would make that guy miss. And then there was an escape alley, right? This year, I feel like when I'm watching Josh Jacobs, even when that first guy comes through, if he makes that person miss, there's like 3 more players waiting for him. There's no escape alley. There's nowhere to be elusive to go to for Josh Jacobs. So I do think the onus is more here on the offensive line and on the offense to give him a sliver of daylight. There's been maybe 1 or 2 plays that I've looked at for Josh so far, and I'm like, maybe if he cut left instead of right or right instead of left, he maybe could have had a few more yards on the play. But those have been extremely few and far between. So I think he's running hard. I think he's running well. I just think there's only so much he can do. And the onus to me is on the offensive line to open up a little bit more of an opportunity for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I feel like, and I'd be interested to hear your take on this as well. Like, do you think it's teams like the Lions, like the Commanders? I mean, they came out and blatantly said, Lions said, we are not going to let Josh Jacobs run all over us. We're going to stop the run and do all that and make Jordan Love beat us, which he did in those games. And it worked there in Dallas as well, scoring 40 points. But do you think that's a mindset that teams are approaching? Just like, don't let them do what they did last year where they control the clock, run the ball with Josh, get clips, have long sustained drives, make Jordan Love and this receiver group beat us. Do you think that's a mindset that these defenses are taking?
I think it absolutely is. And just think of it this way. Green Bay's offense has been, outside of Cleveland, of course, that was not great. But outside of that, even just in general so far, if you look at the 4 weeks in total, what they've done, they've been really good so far. And that's without a running game. Like, just imagine if all of a sudden Josh Jacobs gets going, of how hard this team is going to be to stop. If you do not stop him, and if Josh Jacobs is running wild against you, and now all of their passing is at their disposal as well, that they've already shown that they can do, you're just in complete no man's land. So I think teams are absolutely going to say, hey, we got to make these young wide receivers and Jordan come out and beat us. And if they can, so be it, we'll tip our cap. But if we let Josh get going, we're in complete no man's land, because now the running game is going, their play action game is working, and we have to defend against the pass. And you almost have to pick your poison a little bit. I do think Green Bay can do a little bit of a better job of saying, hey, I know that we want to establish the run and establish Jacobs, but we're not going to run into heavy boxes just for the sake of running into heavy boxes. Yeah. If they're daring you to let Jordan beat you with his arm and let those receivers get going, then by all means do it. Like, let those wide receivers go, let Jordan Love go, let him cook, and don't kind of keep the training wheels on him a little bit. Let him operate the offense and just say, hey, fine, we're going to throw the ball over the field. I'm not saying I want to see Jordan throwing 50, 60 times per game, but I think you can lean into it a little bit more and say, if you're taking it away, we're going to pass the ball and we're going to make you start going into those too high shells. And once we get that, then we'll run on you after that. Yeah,
no, I totally agree, Andy. And I think it's a product too of, like, until this team eliminates like those goofy penalties on passing plays, right? Like, so it goes right back to the offensive line where it's like, okay, we're going to stop the run, because if we can get them in third and, in longer yardage, we can go out now and try to get sacks on Jordan Love, get pressure, and make this offensive line get taxed and get holding calls, because that's been kind of the Achilles heel, right? Like, good drives, good situations are going, and then a stupid holding penalty or a false start or something shoots them in the foot, and then they get behind the chains, and then that drive ends up stalling. So it all goes back to to that offensive and defensive line. Like, you can break football down in so many ways, but it always, like, those are the anchors, and that, like, everything starts and ends with the interior lineman there.
No, I totally agree. And it's why when the team spends a first-round pick on Jordan Morgan, a second-round pick on Anthony Belton. I'm not necessarily saying like they're perfect players or that they whatever, but like I know it's never the sexiest thing to take those linemen, but my goodness, you're going to need them over the course of time. We're giving a big contract to Aaron Banks. We'll tell in time if those things were worthwhile or not, but man, imagine where this team would be without some of that depth on their offensive line. It's already a struggle even with it. Without it, they'd be in no man's land. So yeah, it's always worth investing there.
For sure. So let's just dive into this game real quick with Joe Flacco coming from the Browns. Like, what do you expect to see from him that's going to be different than Browning? Like, why would they make that trade? Like, what is the mindset coming into this game now with a Bengals-led Joe Flacco-led Bengals offense coming into Lambeau Field? The Flacco Bengals.
Yeah, I think it's just desperation more than anything. I think they recognized that. I mean, honestly, I think they recognized that this team set up as is was not going to do enough winning. They're trying anything they can to get into the playoffs where maybe Joe Burrow has a puncher's chance to get back and lead them at that time. And the way things were set up with Jake Browning and the way the team was playing, there was just 0% chance that was going to happen. I mean, this might be the worst team in the league right now, the way that they have been playing as of late. And that's more than just a quarterback thing, but they need a quarterback that can go in there, get things settled down and just have a veteran presence. And if nothing else, the one thing we know about Joe Flacco is he's going to go out and give his wide receivers some opportunities, even if that's taking a chance from time to time. And there's no better team to maybe take a chance with your wide receivers than having Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So I'm sure that those wide receivers are excited and happy that they've got a veteran quarterback that can throw them the ball. At the same time, if you're Green Bay, you're looking at this and you have a Joe Flacco where you've already shut him down once in Cleveland. You have a worse offensive line and a worse rushing attack in Cincinnati than you did in Cleveland. Now you have better wide receivers, no question about that, but you have Flacco who's trying to learn the offense in a week, who's behind a very, very, very shaky offensive line against a good Packers pass rush and no running game for Cincy. If that is the way that it is and Green Bay does show up against the run and sets them up in long down and distances, you should be able to get after Flacco. And we know Flacco is going to give you a couple chances to take away the ball. We can talk all about the offensive line, special teams, things that we know obviously have to improve. This Packers team has forced 2 turnovers through 4 games so far. And one of those
you went right to where I was about to take you, Andy. Yes. I love it.
And one of those was a Xavier McKinney interception before halftime. That was a 4th down arm punt that, quite frankly, he would have been better if he knocked it down rather than intercepting it because he would have got better field. Neither here nor there. The point is they have basically 1 true turnover on the season. So if this team really wants to be the team that they want to become and start taking care of these teams a lot easier, you have to win the turnover battle. It's just, you're the casino, you're the house when you win the turnover battle. Every advantage is in your favor. You might lose from time to time, but in the long run, you're going to win over and over and over again. They got to start getting that turnover battle going in their direction.
Man, well, that's why Andy Herman of Pack-A-Day Podcast is the absolute best because you went right where I was about to take it to that. Like what, for me, the defense, they need to turn pressures into more sacks or turnovers. It has to start happening, right? It's like the pressure rate is awesome, but yeah, you have to get something out of it, right? And I think that's the next step for this defense is turn pressure into sacks, into turnovers, get that offense the ball back, and let this thing just like turn on its head. And it couldn't be a better game for something like that to happen. I mean, at home against the Bengals, all that needs to happen this week.
If there's anything that I'm excited about with this team right now, it's the fact that the defenses look good for the most part outside of one game against Dallas. And this team overall 2-1-1. I know it's not exactly where we want it to be, but they haven't generated any turnovers yet. Like we know turnovers can start coming in bunches and you look at what they're doing. I mean, pressure is just almost always turned into turnovers. Their pressure rate is awesome. It hasn't turned into turnovers yet. Jeff Affley talked about in detail how they are charting every single time a Packer is either punching at the ball, swiping at the ball, trying to knock it out. And he said that they're way above where they were at any point in 2024 with trying to knock the ball out. It just hasn't amounted to a single fumble yet. Like they're doing the right things to generate turnovers. It just hasn't come yet. I have to really believe that those are going to start coming, whether it's this week, the following week, whatever. And I will sign up right now, guys. If that can happen in December, January, and February, and that's when the turnover bunches start coming, so be it. I will gladly sign up for that and take it where it's a little bit less now. So hopefully it's they come in bunches when we need it the most.
Absolutely.
I love it. Yep, 3 turnover game is definitely on the horizon, and I think,
but don't necessarily need it against Cincinnati or Arizona, right? Let's get it when
don't,
we need it.
but I think it'll spark
Yes.
something. I think you need to do it against bad teams so that it will spark you for those future games.
Real quick, Andy, on the YouTube channel, Mike wants to know: can they be trying too hard to get turnovers? Like, are they trying too much to punch at the ball instead of just get the tackle, or go for the interception instead of just getting the tackle?
I think in Dallas they were, because they didn't tackle well in Dallas. So yeah, go ahead, Andy.
No, it's an interesting analytical argument. And I was talking about this with Mike Wall the other day, where it's like, he's been part of like coaching staffs and analytical conversations where it's like, we don't care if you miss it, like go for the ball. Cause if you get a turnover, you're going to win the game. Like turnovers equal wins. So it's like, hey, if you miss a tackle and they go for 10 extra yards, it's not even a blip on the radar of like what that means. But if you force the fumble and you recover it, like the odds of winning the game go massively up. But of course, Mike, being the smart analytical person he is like, well, where's the line of demarcation, or like, where is that? Like, if they break 30 tackles because you kept going for the ball and you didn't force a turnover, like, well, then their odds are going way up. So it's just, it's an interesting conversation. I think in general, it's a good thing to teach going after the ball, but yes, you have to be cognizant of it. You still have to have good technique. And in an ideal world, you have one person kind of holding up the play, ready to make the tackle, and the other one coming in and swiping at the ball. I think that's where they can probably be a little bit better.
That makes sense.
I love it.
Andy, as always, a pleasure. Enjoy playoff baseball in about 2.5 hours here. I know who we are all cheering for, and hoping that this one's over today and we can get some rest, and we'll see how that goes. We know that the Yankees said not so fast, my friends, last night to the Blue Jays. So it's nothing's a foregone conclusion, right? Until you get that 27th out.
Let's get that sweep today, boys. Let's get it.
Yes.
Yep.
He is Andy Herman. He's the owner, CEO, executive director, creator of Pack-A-Day podcast. Follow him on the Twitterverse at Andy Herman NFL, and watch all his content, listen to all his content. He basically owns YouTube at this point.
Owns YouTube.
I think that's how it works. So Andy, thanks so much for joining us on the Gruber Law guest hotline, and we'll talk to you next week.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Andy. You'll never walk alone, buddy.
Nicely done. That is Andy Herman. And yeah, I mean, it's like, Mason, I feel like even though Wednesday's your off day, you might have to jump on every Wednesday at 1:00 just to get your Andy Herman fix.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like, I get Andy Herman every week, and you like we miss you, but we kind of mock you a little bit for.
Of course. Yeah, which is totally acceptable, and it makes sense. But yeah, I needed that this week. I think that's exactly what I needed to get over the hump on this Wednesday. And we're halfway through the second hour, and
we're basically there.
What are we going? We're going into
we're
interesting stuff, punching coaches, things like that.
We're going to talk a little bit about Jonathan Gannon. We're going to mention Giannis and his family. And now there's a proposal out that NCAA players will be able to bet on pro sports, not on college sports, but on pro sports. That seems a little
what?
Yeah, that's that. NCAA closer to letting athletes bet on.
Well, then I also
sports.
saw that there was they actually did they put a ban on like equity groups being able to.
Oh, that I did not see that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was real or not. I don't know what's
so
real
much
anymore.
There's so much going on in the world of sports. We're going to talk about all of it, next.
Just 2 second hits. 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Hits.
Just bang, 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 bang. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Get your butt to Natty Oaks.
Do it.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. 12:50 a.m., 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. And we are free on YouTube as well. At The Fan Milwaukee. You got to put the at in there. At The Fan Milwaukee. And Mason, before we go any further, we have a Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup.
I saw that.
And,
very interesting. Huh?
Yes, I agree. I don't know if we're trying to be too cute or if we just feel something or we know something.
We know something.
Yep. Christian Yelich leading off. Now, remember, this is their first game of the series where they're facing a righty, not a lefty.
I love it.
So Christian Yelich leading off. Jackson Chourio batting second in left field. Yelich is your DH. Bryce Terang batting third at second base. William Contreras fourth at catcher. Sal Frelick fifth in right field. Caleb Durbin sixth at third base. Jake Bowers getting his first start because, again, it's a righty, not a lefty. He will start at first base. Batting eighth in center field, Brandon Lockridge. So not Blake Perkins.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Not Isaac Collins in left and Chourio in center.
Yeah.
I think with the hamstring, I think that did change things. I think without the hamstring, I think you would have seen Chourio in center.
Yeah,
and Collins
you just don't want him
left.
to have to chase anything too much.
Yeah, so I think that is what we've seen with the but Lockridge over Perkins. Now Perkins, as we know, is a much better right-handed hitter than left-handed hitter, but he did get a couple hits lefty in the series so far. But Lockridge, I think Lockridge and Perkins are both A+ fielders. And in a game where the wind is blowing in, and you expect this to be a low-scoring game as it is, they are going defense in center field.
Got to be able to run, right?
Yep. And then Joey, of course, batting ninth and playing shortstop. So again, Yelich, Chourio, Terang, Contreras, Frelick, Durbin, Bowers, Lockridge, and Ortiz. I don't know. I feel like I would have gone with Perkins. Although Perkins and Lockridge both can strike out a bit. I don't know. I don't know. It must be just a feel that Murph has on this one to go with Lockridge.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that stood out for me was seeing Yelich, leading this thing off. But obviously, as a lefty against that righty pitcher, I think it makes sense. Just put your best guys up at the top and let this thing roll.
And Murph clearly liked that for the last couple of weeks of the season when he did make that move. It didn't. I don't know that it necessarily translated into wins at the end of the season. They were a 500 team in September.
Yeah.
But the way Yelich is hitting, I mean, he had 3 hits the other night.
Yeah.
He's just like, if Yelich and Chourio are both hot and they're batting 1-2, I mean, set the table and let's eat.
Think about the mentality for a pitcher facing Yelich, Chourio to start a lineup. Like you're just going to be like, okay, like I'm working. I got to work early against these guys. And then it's like he might get a little rest in his mind, or back off a little bit against Terang and then Contreras, and then those guys go off. So I think it's a perfect setup job just to get off to a hot start, in that first inning.
All right, we'll get back to the Brewers at the end of the show. We'll make some predictions for today, for today's game. Again, that is a 4:08 start down at Wrigley. The Arizona Cardinals have fined head coach Jonathan Gannon $100,000 for his sideline altercation with running back Amari DiMercato, who dropped the football before crossing the goal line Sunday on what would have been a 72-yard touchdown run. There will be no further discipline, and the sideline altercation included Gannon putting his hands on DiMercato, and that's certainly, I assume, where the fine stems from. Mason, your thoughts on a coach putting hands on a player?
Yeah, like the business brain that like kind of triggers there is thinking of, we had this whole playbook of like fine schedule, right?
Yep.
There was this whole, guidelines of like what you get fined for, all that. So like in my mind, this is coming from the organization. It's not an NFL fine.
No,
it's not all that. So they are imposing that. So did they have that in like any kind of writing situation?
Okay.
Like if I'm him, he's not going to fight it. I'm sure. Like he's going to be like, I was wrong. I probably shouldn't have, pushed a player or touched a guy, done that on the sideline. But in my mind, as like in a business sense, if it wasn't in writing, like you get fined $100,000. Is it conduct detrimental to the team? is it like, what is it deemed that he did wrong to award this $100,000 fine?
It's got to be hands on a player, right?
Like, I wonder if they have that in their
Right.
like in some sort of,
and if they
like,
don't,
guide.
they do now.
Like if you push a player, you get $100,000 fine. I can guarantee they don't have that in writing.
Right.
It's interesting. I mean,
So what's your
cooler
reaction?
heads need to prevail. I mean, I didn't see the player. He didn't do anything back, right?
No,
Did he?
no,
so
he took it. He knew.
handled it well. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. You shouldn't get pushed. You shouldn't have that threat. But I mean, these guys are men. They know that they're wrong. Like it's a physical, high emotional game. I think it gets blown out of proportion. I think it's the emotion of that moment, definitely caught him off guard. And yeah, a coach, you shouldn't feel threatened that you're going to get shoved or like beat up by a coach, but getting pushed in the chest. I mean, Dean Mercado, he probably didn't even really feel it. Like, it's not like, I mean, he's a professional football running back. Like, he plays in the NFL.
And you're wearing pads, and as opposed to
he's getting hit by 300-pound, defensive linemen all game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. For me, it's a little sensitive. It goes to some other things on like the quarterback, like the unnecessary roughness or like the roughing the passer stuff.
Yes.
Did you see some of those calls this weekend?
Brutal.
I mean, the Jackson Dart hit, like. Yeah. If that guy hits him in the low back, Jackson Dart doesn't play the rest of the season. Like he hit him, like wrapped up, rolled off, did like literally everything they tell these defensive players to do. And then the Buccaneers won against Darnold. Like he like wrapped him up, felt that his helmet was like kind of maybe grazed his face mask, and then just like turned and just held him there.
Right.
He didn't finish him off. Like, I mean,
but
I think they've gotten a little soft on those.
Yeah, there was one this weekend where he did finish him off, and the helmets did hit, but it's like it was a clean hit. He was straight up. The quarterback stepping into you.
Yeah,
like as he throws the ball. And it was like a straight on. Like, and he didn't put his head down. There was no crown of helmet, nothing, and they still flagged it. And I'm like, what is that? Is not. Oh, it was in the Patriots Bills game in that final drive.
Yeah,
like there was a horrible late hit on the running back. But before that, it was a I thought it was a terrible call, and it was helmet to helmet. So like, but listen,
I think if
men
your
are going to hit sometimes.
Yeah, I think if your face hits in the chest,
right,
and like if your head's not down,
right,
and like just the top of your helmet grazes their helmet, that it shouldn't be a penalty.
Agreed.
Because it's like you're going that
direction.
Like if you have your head up, like you're seeing what you're hitting, you're doing literally what you've been taught your whole life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right.
It's a little goofy, but I saw something on the old social media, and I thought it was funny. It was it looks like Joe Flacco, a picture of Joe Flacco on a plane heading to Cincinnati. Did y'all see this?
No.
Someone took a picture, and they're like,
no,
he's going back to economy. So the most Cincinnati thing ever.
It is.
They trade for their starting quarterback and don't fly him first class or private or just send a plane for him. It's like, dude, all right, we're so bad.
That is special.
Here's an economy ticket. You're in the middle seat. Sorry. Like, I mean, he's going to Cincinnati. Just drive, bro.
That's true.
Like, just head on down.
That's actually a good point from Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland, Stefanski today was asked if Shedeur Sanders is QB2. And he would not commit, and he would not commit to it. Like he would not say that Shedeur Sanders.
Does that mean he's QB1?
Well, he's definitely not QB1. Dylan Gabriel's QB1. But they do have Bailey Zappi on their practice squad, who did start a few games for the Patriots over the past couple of seasons.
No way.
He's pretty terrible. But he would not say for sure that Shedeur Sanders is his number 2. Like what? I mean.
If you traded Joe Flacco, like please, just do something.
Yes,
like,
thank you.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders is your number 2. Like it's okay to say it. Like he's not going to steal any thunder from everyone. Like just make him the number 2 quarterback and move on. Like the guy's on the team because he's making the Browns money without even stepping on the field.
Yes, he is. Did you see the studliest move ever by the Seattle Mariners fan last night?
No.
So Cal Raleigh homers, and a guy wearing a Big Dump 61 t-shirt, like because he had 60 home runs in the regular season. It's in Detroit. A guy wearing a Big Dump 61 t-shirt catches the ball. As he catches the ball, takes off his shirt and is wearing Big Dump 62 under it. Like he's already ready for the next home run.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, like
That's awesome.
and he was on MLB Network. Like they interviewed him today on MLB Network. What a stud.
That is a commitment. And like he caught the home run and was ready to roll.
And he was ready to roll. He was like
the odds that happened?
He was in the first row of the left field bleachers or whatever. And he was
That's confidence right there.
That is studly. 4 games in Major League Baseball today as the Yankees were able to stave off elimination. They were down 2-0. They were down 6-1 in the game. They got it to 6-3. And then Aaron Judge hit his first home run on a non-strike since like middle of 24. Like every home run he's hit, he doesn't swing at balls, but he had just swung straight through 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and they threw him one inside, and he hit it off the foul pole or fair pole, whatever you call it. But he just like crushed it. He was sitting on it. It didn't matter where it was. He was going to swing, and he was going to destroy that ball.
I love it. I love it.
What a stud.
We got a Nicolay Law fan talking text line from 920. Don't be an idiot and showboat and drop the ball. He knew he deserved it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
But you deserve to be, like, shoved by your coach or be you definitely deserve to be yelled at.
You get shoved. Like, I think you get beat up more for good plays. Like
nice job, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you make a big play, you're getting shoved and thrown around. Like, I mean, it's violent out there. Like, you got to be prepared, good or bad. Yeah. Like, something might happen. So yes, no, like the coach is an administrator in a sense, like, but this is professional sports. Like it's different than if it were in high school. Like if this was a high school team, and I've seen that's happened many places. Like you cannot push a kid. Put your hands on a kid.
I feel like you do see the grabbing of the face mask. Like
you
just
used
to get
to more, but I think
to get a guy really to look at, like I'm looking in your eyes. You messed up. I'm the coach. You're gonna listen to me. You're gonna pay attention to me. It's a little bit of a macho play there by a coach there.
Yeah, well, there was a coach here in this area that does not work in the area anymore for some too much physicality towards players and in upset moments. There is a coach in Green Bay that would step on guys' toes, like on their cleats, whenever he was mad at them, so they couldn't back away.
Yep. I remember there was an incident years ago. This is probably even before Charlie and Tommy, like whether they were in high school, even before that. A buddy of mine was an assistant coach at an area high school, and an opposing player, like there was a tackle out of bounds. The opposing player got up, headbutted my buddy, like with his helmet, and my buddy shoved him down, and my buddy got in trouble.
Yeah,
it was a very
just like a reaction. Like you just take a shot. Like your first reaction is
can't hit kids, but like the kid is, an 17, 18-year-old, not, still a big kid, but still a kid with his helmet came up and hit the, and he just like I think it was reaction. Like, I don't think he planned to shove him, but like when you get attacked, you protect yourself. I don't know. That's hard.
I think unless you like close fist punch someone in the face, like in a professional setting, like on the sideline, like if it were in a meeting at the building, it almost would make more sense. It's like there's no need to put your hands on anyone in those situations. But like, would it have been better if he had just grabbed him like on the collar and like?
I think so.
Talk to him.
I think so. I think that's better.
I mean, but that's still honestly in my mind, that's just as or more degrading.
It might be more degrading, but I think you almost deserve the degrading
just because of the push.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's come back and wrap things up. Mason's Extra Points and Thunder Watch. We're going to do Thunder Watch.
I can't wait for Thunder
Right.
Watch. Yeah, let's go.
We're going to get into it. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. The Gentle Giant, Charlie Usen, is in for Tommy Orts. Tommy's on his way. We got some comments on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line as well about chili. We'll get to those on the other side because we're at Natty Oaks today where they have a great big old bowl of chili. Come out to Natty Oaks to see Sparky, Tommy. All the guys are going to be watching the game there as well. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of our Green Bay Packers.
Go, Pack, go.
Experts, players, GMs. Join Inside Wisconsin Sports, 9 to noon with John Kuhn, The Mason Crosby Show, and Wisconsin Sports Daily on The Fan. Powered by Grouper Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all. Do you want to bank without the fuss? For easy banking, rely on us. In person, online, or with the Tri-City app. Your banking can be done just like that. Tri-City National Bank. Member FDIC.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger Law Offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Online education is nothing new at Lakeland University. We've been leading the way for over 25 years. We call this learning opportunity Blend Ed, on-site or online. You'll call it the most flexible and convenient way to earn a degree your way. Trust the leader in online learning. Attend classes in real time, virtually from anywhere. Blend Ed at Lakeland University. You're only an internet connection away. To learn more, visit lakeland.edu/get-started.
Hi, this is Mason Crosby, Super Bowl champion, and I know winners. When in Milwaukee, I go where winners meet. Milwaukee's very own Moe's, a place for steaks. Whether it's wet-aged steaks that arrive perfectly cut or their extensive wine list, Moe's is my luxury that makes me feel luxurious. For reservations, visit Moe's, aplaceforsteaks.com. Moe's, a place for steaks, downtown Milwaukee, where winners meet.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same day or next day delivery, or order online and pick it up in store. Kills primers, pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Listen to 105.7 FM The Fan anytime, anywhere with the free Odyssey app. Hear all our shows, podcasts, and interviews. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
Broadcasting live from the Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles. Presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. On 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
Hey, everybody. Mitch Thunder Nelles for my friends at Underdog. Football season's in full swing, and the baseball playoffs are here. The best place to get in and all the action is Underdog. Make your picks, win money right now in Wisconsin. Not loving offense so much at Wrigley tonight, though. If you had Judge and Raleigh last night, did home runs, you did really well. I think Quinn Priester, though, I'm going higher with strikeouts for him tonight. And, of course, I'm still watching the Packers because I think Jordan Love, I think Tucker Kraft, I think Romeo Dobbs, receptions, touchdowns, passing yards, all the things this weekend for our Green Bay Packers. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
I want to know what you're What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
All right. What a great Wednesday. Charlie, thanks for filling in for Tommy.
Anytime.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Then.
Well, I don't know about that.
He said, Mason.
I did say anytime, but I thought you guys liked
say.
Tommy too. I'm gonna tell Tommy you guys are mean.
Okay.
Man, Tommy's gone for one day. Mitch turns on.
All right, exactly.
Jeez.
I even already hugged him and everything today.
I did see that off to the side. So I'm going to go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line for a moment in my extra points here, and we were talking about chili. Going to what is our place called? Where are they having that?
Oh, we're going to Natty Oaks today.
Natty Oaks, that's right. Natty Oaks, big bowl of chili. But 920 says, I like chili with noodles. So chili mac, both ways are delicious. I got to eat them with Tostitos scoops.
Ooh, I don't mind that. I don't mind scooping if you got a nice chili with scooping it with tortilla chips.
Good.
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
No, that's that. Yeah, I'm here for that.
Something else I was, what
were you noodling? See what I did there?
Well, I do want to know. Oh, I was going to give you a Thunder Watch. I'm going to jump onto Thunder Watch during my extra points.
Okay.
And what did you think about LaFleur's comments about the special teams and their ranking and giving up catastrophic plays really takes the ranking down?
I think he's at a loss. I think he doesn't know what to say at this point. Like, I think he's so befuddled. He's mad at Bisaccia. He's mad at himself. He's mad at the players. He's mad at everybody, and he doesn't know what.
And he's scared of Bisaccia, so he won't say
he doesn't want to throw everybody under the bus.
Yeah, he needs to do better.
So leading off on Thunder Watch though after last week is Rich Bisaccia. He is on Thunder. So here's who's currently on. First, we'll discuss who's now off Thunder Watch, and then we'll see if we want to put anybody else on. So coming into this week, Rich Bisaccia, Jacob Mizorowski, Jordan Morgan, Luke Fickell, Doc Rivers, Kyle Kuzma, Jimmy Haslam, Elton Jenkins, and Joey Ortiz.
Wow, that's
all
a long
on Thunder
that's
Watch.
A big list.
Yep. I'm taking Mizorowski off Thunder Watch, but I'm keeping Joey Ortiz on Thunder Watch just because he plays so much better when he's on Thunder Watch.
Okay, all right.
Like he's not really on Thunder Watch in a bad way. He's just, we're keeping our eye on him because he just keeps playing well when we have him on Thunder Watch.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that.
So again, Thunder Watch is not necessarily negative, Mason. It's just somebody we're keeping an extra eye on. It can be negative. Like with Bisaccia, it's negative. With Kuzma, it's negative. With Doc Rivers, it's not necessarily negative. It's not like we're keeping an extra eye on him. Anybody in your mind, Packers wise, like I don't think Christian Watson's on Thunder Watch yet, but he might be in terms of like just to see what he could do on the field.
And I talked about this with Andy Herman was that like don't think like make players' contracts the reason that you like are concerned or watching. Like they need to So my Thunder Watch for this week would be an Aaron Banks.
I love that. I love that call. That is tell me you
did
know.
I do Thunder Watch?
Tell me you understand on Thunder Watch without telling me you understand.
That's right.
Aaron Banks is absolutely our nomination for this week. And listen, if he plays really well this week and comes out healthy, he could be off in 1 week.
Sure. I just want to see, we're watching. I want to see you be available.
Yes.
See you just go out there, play a full game, execute at a high level, and just go and do your job. That's it.
Yeah. No, Mason perfectly executed on the Thunder Watch. We've got some more talk and text line, the Nicolay Law Fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. And remember, Sparky and Tommy will be reading these throughout the afternoon as well. So Thunder's not a fan of Real Chili. And Real Chili, obviously, on the Marquette campus, right by Cathedral Square. No, I love Real Chili. I love Real Chili. I like the chili. I love the cheese on it, and I'll put the noodles in. I'll eat.
But does that is Real Chili with noodles? Is that what someone's claiming?
Real Chili is not. We're not talking about. It's the restaurant called Real Chili. Yeah.
Oh, Real Chili.
And they serve it with noodles.
Sorry.
No, listen. I said I like it with
I'm
noodles.
new here. I'm new here, guys.
I just call it chili with noodles. That's not to me. That's chili with noodles. If I order a bowl of chili, I expect a bowl of chili. I don't expect a bowl of chili with noodles.
The 414 before that, their comment was awesome too. Nico Horner is the Temu version of Bryce Terrain.
I love that. That is great. He kind of is.
That's hilarious.
He kind of is. And we talked about how Jamison Tyon is starting today for the Cubs. 715 also says there are 4 ex-Pirates starting pitchers in playoff rotations. Quinn Priester and Jamison Tyon, both former Pirates.
Wow.
Could you imagine if they ever got their together in Pittsburgh? Like they're bleep together, actually spent money. Like they don't have all across, they're not, it's not like Major League is littered with ex-Pirates who are amazing, but there are players who are good players, who are not on the Pirates anymore, that if they actually built their team the right way, like the Brewers do, the Pirates could be a relevant organization.
Well, what's going to be crazy is whenever Skeens is gone from there.
Yeah.
And it's just
right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and whoever gets him, the Dodgers, like when he goes to the Dodgers, baseball's going to suck.
Dodgers or Yankees. That's where he's headed.
All right, Mace, I have a score prediction for today. I don't know if you do.
Quick. Yeah.
I've got Brewers 3-1. I think it's really low scoring. I think with the wind, I think with the wet, I just think that these two pitchers are really good. I've got 3-1.
I got Brewers going 5-3.
5-3. Okay.
I think it's gonna be a little tight, but the Brewers get that win and they find a way to score 5 runs again.
Nice. Our thanks to Scott Grotzky. Our thanks to Andy Herman. Our thanks to Charlie Usen for being a stud. Remember, get out to Natty Oaks. Sparky's out there. Tommy's out there. I'm on my way. Mason, have a great rest of the week. We'll call you in for picks.
Yep, I'll be on tomorrow for the picks.
Yep, we'll figure that out. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, Packers fans, it's Mason Crosby, and Verizon's kicking off big sales.